Hi again. It's Frequency Bone Summer Music Connection 9, video 7 of the Authenticity series. In the last video, video 6, got into a lot of depth in our journey for authenticity in ourselves, and to see and to spot where it is outside of ourselves. Talked a lot about nature on these videos and looking to nature. And I think that can be a wonderful place to start. It's a huge subject, actually. And in one way, you'd think it shouldn't be. For I don't think Chihuahuas go on the same journey, or Shetland ponies. Or boa constrictors. But the human being is different. Those other animals have a fixed function. As was talked about on the last video. Now, it's very interesting. Let's look at this, because when things are out of alignment, out of balance, out of their natural way, and that's a huge topic, what's natural, okay? Very, very curious topic. It's not really all what people think, or certain groups of people might think, of what is natural, what is not natural. But if something's out of balance, got off the track somehow, inside of that which created life, like inside of a person, perhaps it was created with a certain purpose in mind. Like the trees have a purpose, the bees have a purpose, the flowers have a purpose. They might offer us beauty to look at, and smells, and shade, and all of this. They have a purpose. An actual function that is in alignment with their design, what they were created to do. In this creation, if you look at the planet, life can adapt and evolve in different ways according to circumstances that beset it at any given time. So it's a big subject, authenticity, for the human being. If you look at, like I said, if something's out of balance, or if, let's say, an illness or a disease, and we can even look at let's get into the world of brass playing and look at this, shall we? People who are having embouchure difficulties, or performance anxieties, to someone who has not had any of that, they do not understand it. They do not understand it. And that's why if they just say, look, you're not breathing right, you're getting your breathing is getting, that's just one of the symptoms that might be going on when someone's in a feeling of feeling unstable, that something they used to count on is not there anymore. And unless you've been through certain things, you're not going to understand what that is about. Someone wants to come to you and slap you out of it, and now you're fine. Not everything is a quick fix. People with certain physiological illnesses, okay? Go to certain doctors, doctor, take this, take this, take this. Might not be that simple. Some people's illnesses are more complex, even in their arising, even in the internal environment in which they live in themselves. There's certain things that aren't functioning in harmony as much as they should be for the person. And so a one-size-fits-all does not fit. In the medical field, it certainly doesn't fit. In the music world, it has nothing to do with authentically trying to get at the root of the situation at hand. The real answer from a person would be, you know what? Wow, this is out of my domain. You need to see someone else. Look at all the specialists that appear now. They're arising. Oh, yes, I know. There's always some charlatan somewhere. No matter what, there's always quacks in any field, okay? But a lot of people have arisen because there's a need. Their complex situations aren't being addressed, but there's a lot of great people now who are addressing a variety of these situations. And in the case of brass playing, for example, and stresses and strains and embouchure changes, I don't know how many qualified people there actually are. Maybe a handful, maybe a few, maybe more than I even know. Probably. And there's different kinds of embouchure difficulty. Every situation is unique. They are not all the same. Many teachers, they just can't really deal with a person's issues. Some people, we want to think we can handle everything. That'd be great, but it ain't the case, is it? You don't want me to do your plumbing in your house. Or the electric, or the painting, or probably anything else like that. Now, if you need some help with your chops, believe it or not, at this point in my life, and even much earlier than this, I might be a good person to see. If you're having trouble connecting to music, I might be a good person to see. If you have a deep need to even want to be employed, might be a good person to see. But I will not do it without including your life in the music. That would be a lie against anything I stand for and say. It would not be very authentic. So, where are we with all this? In the realm that we live in, think about this. There's complexity and intricacies all around us. But yet, we can look at the tree, look at the bird, look at the sky, look at our instrument, and give a nice noun to it, or an adjective. We can describe it. And then we can have deeper connections with that life and get to know that life. Sorry about this. I'm moving different things because the lighting, something is throwing me off. So what's authentic? With this video, I'm thinking, what else can I do to spur on your interest for those who are interested? To think that there's one way to play, to move the slide on the trombone. Nope. It's not the case. I've seen it done many different ways, from really utilizing the thumb and the index finger, to utilizing more of the wrist, to using the arm specifically with subtle movements in the wrist, to make sure that this hand is not so like this, is to go to the position and then it jerks, but to have it more uniform so it gets there more stably and easily without any wobbles. It depends on what you're going for. And this is something interesting with natural. Because when we're learning something and we want to be proficient or, have a high level of skill, there might be certain things that we're practicing that really do not feel natural at all at first. But if we keep with them and build a sentiment towards them, they not only become just a habit of a kind of unconscious kind, but we get a real feeling and connection and relationship with that aspect of playing. So to know about authenticity, beyond a dictionary definition, we have to be in the pursuit of what is authentic. And then have an attitude that says, I better not hold on to my findings in such a fixed way that I start building up some biases or ideas that are just frozen and aren't alive. Because here's an actual authentic part of what's real in life. It is not stationary. Certain things seem more stationary, like the planet rotating. We don't even feel it. We don't feel it orbiting around the sun. What an extraordinary bit of engineering. Okay, but we're not really aware of it. But it's happening. And so movement is always happening. What's music without movement? And so this gets into music as a living thing. Music as a living thing. First, we have to really feel the life in life. And maybe we'll be able to see where music is more alive than we ever thought, or more dead. And first, we have to move beyond our own likes and dislikes sometimes, which may be ours, and as we talked about earlier in another video, or it may not be. So if we're going to be on the pursuit of what's authentic, what's real, what's genuine, observe. We have the faculties of comparison, and we can sensitize them more so they're more aware of subtle differences. We can say, oh, this is Vietnamese cinnamon. Someone who's really into the culinary arts, they can and they have build a relationship up with a particular spice or herb or anything, they can tell those differences. We live in so much variety. How is this creation not the place of incredible, extraordinary complexity and intricacy? An overlay over overlay over overlay over overlay of so many things. And we can still be simple within it if we want, by taking our time, writing some things down, and don't be so quick to come to an answer, but be in the journey life, the moving life of whatever this change is, and see how even that can start to move us closer to what's authentic in ourselves. So this is one of those videos where I feel like it's never going to have a note of, this is it, this is solid. It's open-ended. But let's be aware of what we say, let's be aware of what we say yes and no to. Because if there's a purpose, then the yes and no are in sync and they support each other instead of pulling us apart. We were all meant to be ourselves in service to life. So let's end with today's feelings of meditative longing. Isn't it interesting when there's that odd little thing going through everything? There's an openness. You tell yourself, it's okay. You can still breathe, feel, sense, touch, hear, taste. To be on a journey that's open-ended. Will bring results and deep answers eventually. If your pursuit is more and more authentic.